Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for coming to my page, my podcast. I really appreciate it. My name is Jennifer Martinez, and I am a practitioner of quantum healing hypnosis technique. Obviously, also QHHT. That is the breakdown, the little abbreviation for it. I have my own website. You can check it out, jennifermartinezqhht.com. I am a practitioner of this technique. This technique was developed by Dolores Cannon. And as well, you can look her up by going to dolorescannon.com. It's pretty cool. And then if you ever want a session, I'd be glad to do that. And you can contact me through my page. You can, or if you're not in my area and can't make it to me, you can go to officialqhht.com and find a practitioner in your area. It's amazing. This technique is incredible. You really do find out who you really are when you do this technique. I feel like this world is somewhat of an illusion, and it's always distracting you of your better half, your better self, because not everyone has made it to that, because I feel like there's so many obstacles out there. It can be a challenge trying to figure out who you really are. I know at first I was on that journey of like, who am I really, and why am I really here? Why? Just to work all day and work my whole life and then what, die? It just seems so like lame, honestly. I'm like, that is not why we're here. We are not meant to come here and just work until we die. But we get that in our mind as that's what we have to do. And I don't really feel like, I know we need to make money and work, but there's other ways of making that money at this point. Like, we're realizing that there's more out there than just this hard physical labor to make a couple bucks, because we never make a lot of money. We're always like, oh, I just made a few bucks, and you're always striving to get that next paycheck to make a few more bucks. Versus you are amazing. You can come up with anything amazing and go beyond and become beyond what you thought you were here to do. I don't know. I think that is what a lot of people need to pay attention to more. Because how could you be healthy and follow your purpose and path, and why are you here? And I listened to this Audible the other day, and it was amazing. It was a message from God. It said, if you could pick one miracle to have, what would it be? And your mind will go, wait a minute. Okay, if I only get one, then it's got to be something significant, huge, the best. But you know what? You can't figure it out sometimes. You're like, well, what would that be? Because I only get one. It's like the genie giving you one wish. Your mind is like, and that's your ego mind trying to narrow it down, seeing what you're actually, I would say, entitled to, because your ego goes, well, don't waste it on that. We've got this over here. And whatever that obstacle is, whatever that challenge is, your mind then starts to say, oh, I'm not deserving of that miracle. See, and that's called limitation. So we are a master of limiting ourselves. You have to understand who you really are. You're this mighty being. You are a spark from God, regardless if you believe in God or not. He is great. He is the good part of you. That is the good part of you, is the godly part. We all have it, or you wouldn't be alive. You got to have the spark of God in you, or you would be, as they would say, walking zombie. You wouldn't be alive. And we go, oh, God is so many things, I mean, I didn't grow up with a God, go to church, do this, because if you don't, God, you're going to go to hell. I didn't grow up like that. So thank God that I didn't. Thank my angels. Thank my whole setup that I was so blessed to have my own belief system, although it's not always good to grow up with nothing, because also I thought before when I grew up in poverty and low income and not a happy family style. Divorced family, mom's working her tail off to take care of the kids, grandma's trying to, make it through watching you kids, and everyone's crazy, and you don't ever have enough food, and you don't ever have enough nothing. But you know what I realized? That can as well be heavy, heavy as a sense of not knowing even what's real anymore. Why are you here? Why are you in this body? Why are you, you see all these negatives, right? But as you grow older, you can figure out along the way God loves you and that He's always been there for you. And I'm using him as a he because I need to talk about it and I need to get it out. I could say it, the source, because see, God is not female or male. It is pure energy of pure love. Pure love. That means there is no judgment. None. Zero. So if you're someone who's just plastered with darkness and plastered in that habit of darkness, and really, I mean, you are on the planet of Earth, which is the yin and the yang, the good and the evil. So you can indulge in that evil because you could say, oh, well, why are all these bad things happening to me? And why is it so negative around me? Well, you've put that vibration out. Look at your tone. Look at the vibration you're putting out into the world. You as well hold this beautiful energy of this godly, beautiful energy that says, okay, I could hate the world today and I could be negative all day long, but won't you be exhausted? Hi, thank you for jumping in. I appreciate it. Just talking about how amazing we really are. Oh, okay. Yeah. And so I was just talking about how we can wake up and say, you know what? This is happening in my life. It's negative. It's, you're limiting yourself. When it comes down to it, we talk about there is good, but guess what? Our ego pops in and it says, you know what? Nope. Not today. I don't feel like it. I just feel like being down in the dumps and holding you exactly where you are, not progressing. I'm going to keep you right here where you're always wondering what a progression looks like and always saying, oh, that person's doing really, really good. And I admire that, you know, versus, and most of us, we don't do that. There's this sense of ego that comes out and says, oh, I'm jealous. I don't like her. I don't like him. I hate the way he is. Because that's your projection off of, it's like you mirror that person. So then at the end of the day, that's really you being that negative, being that, knowing that you can make a difference, but you don't. You have it in you. You have it in you to be the best you, no matter what we believe in as far as God or not. God is good. God is great. I'm just using God as so that I can explain how I feel about it. Really, it's the source. It's where our spark came from. It's the good part of us. So no matter what, I don't do the whole church thing. I don't say, oh, there's going to be a hell. No, there's no hell on the other side. That's why I love quantum healing hypnosis technique. I always fall back to that because I've taken under almost 40 people and never once was there hell on the other side. Nor when Dolores took under 10,000 people in her 50-year experience, never once out of all those thousands of people was there a hell on the other side. It's an illusion of our reality on this side, Earth. Earth has the hell. Earth holds the darkness. We have it scrambled as if we die, we're going to hell if we do this and do that. Those are just experiences. Our soul has to grow. And yeah, it's sad and it's, none of us really, I can talk to thousands and hundreds of thousands of people. Not one do I know who says, yep, I like the darkness. I like hell. No, no, no. If they really, 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 really had a choice, truthfully from their heart, they would choose good. Period. You would choose good. I mean, you want to be the best. You want to feel the best. You want to look the best. You want to be the best. And guess what? You get to. It's up to you. That's the thing. At the end of the day, it's always up to you. It's always up to you. Because if not, then what? You were just heavy and dark your whole life. Maybe you could have that as your experience, as you are allowed to choose what you want. And so that's why I say it's like, why would you choose darkness over light if you had a choice? And when you really knew who you were, you're this mighty being on the other side. I don't care who tells you what and what you want to believe. You are magnificent. You are an amazing being. Because if you tap into it and I take you under with quantum healing, you would say, oh my, oh my, how I was belittling myself and not really worshiping my own self, knowing that I am this amazing godlike creature walking on earth, creating anything I want in life. Hey, I want to do this. Guess what? I'm doing it. Hey, I want to be a doctor. Guess what? No problem. Hey, I want to be a psychic. Great. No problem. I can tap right into it because guess what? I'm amazing. I'm mighty. I can do anything. They do say that all the time. I know it's out there. But what happens to us is we have obstacles because we didn't want it to be that easy. Because see, guess what? We're like these amazing beings. So you can only imagine like use your imagination. I always say that it's the best gift God gave us was our imagination, and we always use it for the dark. So use it for the good. Like say, you know what? Yeah, that's my obstacle, and soon I'm going to get over that. Just like that. And when you get over it, you realize then how silly it was. You're like, oh my gosh, I totally belittled my own self to satisfy someone else's darkness and heaviness and what their own struggles were. And trust me, I have struggles. I by any means am on a journey of constantly seeing the struggle and knowing that it is a struggle because I have family members that then go, oh, help me, Jen. Do this, help me, and it's like, no, you really do have to help yourself. Yeah, I can give you suggestions, but I can't tell you what to do because you'll never do it. So suggestions is all I'm ever going to give anyone because honestly, you're amazing in your own ways. You have to be. That's what makes us all so unique and fitting each puzzle to each piece to the puzzle. And we're not going to have easy things just coming our way unless we really, truly, wholeheartedly want the easy stuff to come to us. And you can do that. Law of vibration. God gave us laws and they're beautiful and they can work against us and they can work for us. And, the one is law of vibration. And I know most people have heard it, law of cause and effect. I know you've heard it. I know it because it's like we've heard it along the way, but do we even know what that means if we never went to church, if we never got taught any of that? And I realized that in our hearts, sometimes when we have these obstacles, we can go, man, I'm so broke. I'm so broke. And when you say, I am so broke, oh my gosh, you just set it in stone. And so then the law of vibrations is like, guess that's what he wants. He said it from his heart. I mean, this is the planet of free will. So we got a lot of going on for us on this planet. And we have to, I suppose, wake up to that. And that's why I'm here is to be the voice that says, hey, yeah, we have a lot of obstacles and we have a lot of feelings and emotions. And we let that sometimes get in our way, is those feelings and emotions. Oh, I don't like the way he said that. Oh, I don't like the way she said that. Okay, that's fine. Then what is it really doing to you if you did hear that, if you did see that, or if it is your obstacle? You know, it's stopping and recognizing that it's recognizing that sometimes we get caught up in the emotion and the feelings of it, when really, what is it, what's going on there? And sometimes people do, once you hit a certain age, you've practiced, and habits, we're creatures of habit. So most of the time we just keep waking up and just keep practicing the same thing we've only known for our entire life of this life. And sometimes you do need a quantum healing hypnosis technique session. And that's why it's so beautiful. And that's why it's so perfect. Because honestly, what it's going to do is say, hey, wait a minute, you have guardians. You can get through this with your team. We all have a team, because, see, we can't be here without our team. And you see the struggles in people. You see them struggle. It's because they've literally cut themselves off from the godly part of themselves, spiritual side of yourself. No, you don't need to go to church every day and say, oh, I worship you. No, God doesn't want that. No, he wants you to worship you. You need to worship you. No. Yeah, it's amazing. When you start loving you, when you start loving you, you're gonna see a difference. And it doesn't matter if you believe in God or not. It matters if you believe in you. And then you will then know that this godly part of you is just pure love. It's so pure love. And sometimes you have to move. Sometimes you have to quit that job and change. Honestly, it still blows my mind sometimes that I quit my job that was just mediocre, but still longevity. It had a paycheck and I wasn't happy. I think I would have just been so sad. But then at the same time, I realized maybe I should have stayed. I go through that. Another obstacle in my way. And what's your obstacle? You have to figure out who you really are. And I think that that's what's the blessing in the journey for me, is that during this time, yeah, I quit my job and I did other little jobs. I became a practitioner for quantum healing hypnosis technique, and I'm a level 2 practitioner of it. And as well, I'm a practitioner of Reiki. I would have never done that if I would have just stayed at my mediocre job. Isn't that amazing? I would have just never knew who I was. I've had on my own self 5 to 6 sessions just done on me, because as you practice, as I'm a practitioner, I practice with other practitioners. Yep. And I've really figured out who I was, although those weren't just always easy answers. 50-50. It's like, yeah, we can do a session on you, but yeah, you also have to put your 50 in, period. You have to put the work in, because, see, the thing is like I said, we're creatures of habit. So long we've practiced one way. So our belief system is one way. Although there is the spark in you that wonders, what is she talking about? Other side, angels, that's not real. And then it might not be real for you, but it's super real for me, because it's simple. And I think sometimes this side is, the earth side's difficult. But the spiritual side, godly part, the loving angels, the loving God, the loving other side, it's unconditional, It's like they always love me. I never have to worry. I never have to go, oh my gosh, God hates me. No. He knows no other emotion besides love. And I'm just saying he, once again, it's it. I think I can try to use it. Although I don't really like to. I feel like it's okay if I say he. It's your own issues if you don't like the way I say it, if I say he or it or that shouldn't matter. It's something inside you that it affects, not me. And you have to visit that, you know. I speak from my heart. The other day it was like, when I do these podcasts, I don't need to write out a script and say, okay, this is what I'm going to say. I don't need to remember. I don't need any of that, because when I do these, it literally is from my heart, which then is again from the other side, telling you guys these messages, because we see the connection that we're getting. We see that people are reaching out because there's a spark in you. Period. There is the spark in you. Unless you're walking dead people, you have God in you. You have this spark in you. And it's good. The spark is good, and it grows bigger and bigger and bigger when you then embrace it. So again, I don't have to remember what to say. I don't have to say, oh gosh, I have to say this. And earlier when I was talking about a miracle, you are a creator of miracles. You can have hundreds of miracles all day long. But guess what? We limit ourselves with the ego. This is the planet of limitations and emotions because we get caught up in emotions. We get caught up in what other people are doing and get jealous of them versus doing it ourselves, versus being the best we can be. Sure, you can look at all the social media, but you know what it's doing to you is warping your mind to hypnotize you. So really, most people say, oh, I can't be hypnotized. You are daily. You cave into that phone. You cave into social media. Try to do without it for a day. Guarantee you can't. Guarantee you can't. Because you know why? You're hypnotized. You're always wanting more of that reality, and it's not even real. It's an illusion. That's the other amazing part. I just watched this one guy, and he totally confirmed everything I was talking about. He brought it to point, showing me all of the illusions that they put out there and say, oh, this is good, this is good. Most of the time, it's not. Most of the time, it's not. And what is good and what is bad? Do we need to define each both? What about we just need experiences? If you want to smoke a cigarette, smoke it. You want to drink it. You want to smoke weed, smoke it. Pills, take them. This is the only place you'll be able to ever indulge in any of that stuff. And you can't feel guilty about it. I think what happens is we just create habits and keep going for it because we're like, suppress us. Suppress. I just know that when you really focus on the good stuff start happening to you. And I was just listening to I wanted to tell you Abraham the other day, and I love listening to Abraham Hicks. She's awesome. Well, it's extraterrestrial on the other side, but it's a lady who talks. But she was saying, this guy came in and he was like, well, I don't even know how to get to where you're talking about. And she's like, why don't you just be in your present? What's around you instead of trying to chase something that you can't have? Maybe change your wording. It's coming to me. Great things are coming to me. It's funny how things are, how obstacles are, and how we can let them get in our way, as maybe they're just learning lessons. And I don't know for many of you guys if a lot of things keep repeating themselves, if you haven't noticed, where you could deal with drama always. And you're like, why do I have to deal with drama? I hate drama. Actually, at the end of the day, you love drama. Because if you hated it, you would have eliminated it. And I realized, no, most people love it. And they're like, how can I love it? It's just horrible. No, it's entertaining you. Why do you go back to it then? You can always be the best version of yourself. Always. And I strive. I mean, practice what I preach, right? And I'm not there yet. I'm always striving to be the best I can be, as well as my mind gets very clogged, and so I'm constantly having to really love on myself every day, because it's definitely not easy. I didn't grow up in this like little perfect family that just everything was perfect. I didn't grow up that way. No. You had to work hard, you had to strive hard. You never even thought you would get out. Those kind of things. That's how I grew up. It just is what it is, and this is the way of the world. And that's crap. I hate when people say that, because that's not true. The way of the world is great. Good things are to come to you. Good things are happening. Good things, you have to look at it just so different and really love on it differently. And limit yourself on social media. I just feel like social media is the one that just has us all. We're all locked in. We're all like, what's happening next? Who's going to hurt who? Who's going to do this to who? It's an illusion, you guys. It's all an illusion. It's a trip. I know it sounds silly, but that's why they say you can change it at any time. The only thing that's real is your soul. you're in a matrix, period. This is a matrix. You are asleep. You're asleep on the other side. You're in this like perfect little cloud bubble, and you are just dreaming away right now. Although we are connected, we are consciously, collectively connected to the higher self. So sometimes when I take people in, they want to talk about their family. That's great, because you're connected. So you can help a family member by you going under and getting the answer, because the all-knowing part of yourself pops up. The one that knows every answer, everything, the future, the past, the middle, what you created before you even came here, what you're creating now. There's parallel lives. There's so much your mind can focus on that is so fun and fascinating, and we don't. We focus on the negative, and our imagination gets used for damage. And I wish you would see that. I wish you would notice that, because when we switch our mindset, it's like a light switch. When we switch it on to the light, it's a trip. I figured that out the other day. It's like, oh my gosh. If we all had light switches in our mind and we just flicked it to the light, wow, how it would brighten a room. It would take all the darkness out. That's the same concept. Then we can do good. Then the people who are in poverty, we can help them. I love helping people. The people who are in prisons, they all have a good part of them, but they all got tangled up in their obstacle and they lost their way. But they're not lost. They are collectively a part of all of us. We are all one. And I guess when I do meditations and I send out love, it's so that way, and they receive some kind of love. And then guess what? In their next life, they can do a lot better. Maybe they can be the one who actually helps the family that they hurt. Because at the end of the day, you guys were all babies. You were all pure. And it was who raised you, who brought you up. You know, we all came in with something, and sometimes we do come back to repay what we think is getting repaid, and it's called karma. But then, the other side realized that doesn't always work, because what happens is when you die, you see that and you go, oh, I didn't want to do that. I'm going to go back and I'm going to go fix it. But guess what? You're a baby when you come back, and you go with a whole nother family. And sometimes the same family. And sometimes another family. But guess what? There's obstacles along the way. And so you never really then figure out who you really are and why you came. We have amnesia when we come here. We can't remember everything because our human minds couldn't even be capable of that. And it blows some people's minds to even talk this way. But honestly, I've realized what dimension those people are in. See, the dimension that I'm in is the fourth. Knowing that there's spirits around me, knowing that there's much more, that the people that passed away, they're not really gone. They're right there. But when you're in the third dimension, you feel they're gone. You feel they're lost. You feel you'll never feel them again. That's the third dimension, when you know that nothing is ever going to help you. And that's okay if it was this life. You're always given another chance, opportunity. I guess when I say it, it's just that I want people to even get a tiny bit. So that way, then the next time, you're going to hold that tiny bit and you're going to bring it forth next time. Okay. Okay. Right. So just we'll do it. No, I don't think that's a big deal. I don't think it's a rush. I don't want to do that. I kind of want to be nice and not freak out. Yeah, so we'll revisit that. I'll look at it. Awesome. Okay, bye. Love you guys. Oh, sorry about that. Just a little pause. Wow, it's already April. So yeah, I was quite busy in March. March was a very busy month for me. It had a lot of shifts as far as we've lost a family member, And there is a rental house that we have, and we've had it forever, and that's kind of been part of the family, and now that's going to be gone. So lots of different things happening in our lives, and that's okay. Obstacles, once again, just changes and different things. And yeah, it's amazing how life really is, and just moving through it joyfully really is the key. Moving through life joyfully is your thing. If you can, I always suggest laughter. I always suggest music. They're there for a reason. We need them. And when we do these things and focus on some of these things that are good, generally we then live a happy life. And we can look back at it as like, wow, that's great. That's awesome. And going back to a little bit what I was saying is like, you're worthy of living. You're worthy of being here. Some of us feel like, oh, my life's going to be done and over. And it's like, no, it may just mean you need a shift. Do something different. Yep. And love on that different thing. And know that it's there for a reason, that shift and that feeling. It's because you get to do something different. That's what it's wanting you to do, is something different. But what holds you back is your ego. It always wants you in the same spot, because the ego, we give too much credit for the ego. Like we give too much to the ego. Like, oh, take us to our daily everything and do everything. It can't handle it. That's why you get mentally exhausted. That's why you get depressed. It's because we give too much to the ego to try to figure out. That's why we have to tap into this beautiful part of ourselves, and it's the spiritual side. It's the godly side. Regardless of however you want to believe that beautiful spark is love, is God, whatever you want to say it is, it's love, period. You can just say love. That's the side that can handle it, that can navigate you through life so perfectly and joyfully. You see people who live a great life. You do. And I know you want that. Everybody wants that. And you are entitled to it. I always say that. You're always entitled to it. Sometimes we're in relationships that just have us feeling a certain way. And really, when it comes down to it, what are you learning? That's what that is. It's teaching you something. Is it teaching you to stand up for yourself? Is it teaching you to speak up? What is that teaching you? And so that's how you have to kind of live your life, is like, wait a minute. If it's an obstacle, if it's challenging you, if it's hard and you can't get it, step back and say, why? What is this teaching me? Some of us just can't. We don't know how. And that's why you have to look to others that could suggest this is how you should do it. I guess my heart's just open. And to let you know, you're amazing. If you really tap into your all-knowing side, you can know anything you want to know. You can navigate anything you want in life. Does it feel good? Does it not feel good? Maybe you don't need to do anything with that. Maybe you just need to move on. It's really, do you know who you really are? You're not just this body. You're amazing. Yep, you're a mighty, mighty being. Period. You just are. There's no other any ifs, ands, buts about it. And when you focus on that and you focus on the good and use your imagination, like I said earlier, that is like, if we could do anything, use it for the good. So many times do we use it for the bad. Practice. See what I mean? Start saying things of like, oh, good things are happening, good things are coming. I am practicing for the greater good, for my own self. Don't worry about a whole bunch of other people. I know we have to in some situations. got little kids or we have seniors that we're caring for, and that's wonderful. Just embrace it. Find good things out of it. Do fun things. I just saw this other little video that was a new mom. Instead of getting all frazzled being a new mom, she did fun things with the baby. And I thought, wow, that'll really do it. You'll really have a lot of fun because your kid will grow up right before your eyes. And you won't be like, oh, my kid's throwing up, my kids, or whatever. Kids are like a little, little handfuls, crying or whatever. Make it fun. Yep, make it fun. But living joyfully is the key. Yeah, it's amazing. I was kind of in a little rut too because I hadn't been on here in a while, and sometimes when I don't come on here I then feel like, oh, I wasn't able to say this, do that, feel myself. I kind of had this last month to really sit in my own feelings and really practice what I preached, of good will come to me and good is here and anything I need falls into my lap, and the journey is so easy for me. It's graceful. Good things pop up. Because for so long I was like, oh, I don't have an office and I can't do my practice. What am I going to do? I focused on the negative. So my practice never came to me. My spot never came to me. But when I let it go and I focused on just loving me and putting God first, knowing that I am godly, I'm just in this body. I'm a multi-dimensional being. I'm more than this body. This is a part of me. And as I age, parts of me change. I change. There's a lot of really great people out there. There's a ton, just a ton of great people. And I'm so thankful for all of you guys. I'm thankful for you guys listening to me. I'm very grateful for it. Like when I see my numbers go up, my heart just fills up because I just never had any idea that you guys would love me that much. I had my own doubts. I thought, oh, no one's ever going to like me. I'm just a regular girl in the world. Isn't that funny? How we can really downplay everything. And here I've been doing this since October, and every time I come on here, my numbers go up, and more people come to my page, and they're really loving it. And I'm just loving it myself. I'm falling in love with the world when for so long I never thought I was good enough for the world. Even when I used to do all my jobs, I used to be customer service rep and I did all that stuff. And I thought, oh, I'm never going to be that bad. Great. It's just so funny what we can do to ourselves. And then when you step back and you go, oh my gosh, what a riot. Like, why did we even go there? Why? It's not necessary. It's funny. My mind always goes back and forth, I'm just like anyone else. I just practice some good things in my life. I make sure I eat right. I look at the back of a container to see what's in the food I'm eating, if it's processed. I love fresh food. So I'm always eating fresh food and eat the colors of the rainbow. I love that. It's like you're a little kid all over again. Make it simple. Avocados, tomatoes, onions, lettuce, all the fruits. That's what I mean. When you eat like that, you feel better. Instead of giving yourself a whole bunch of crap. And I just mean processed food, going out to eat. It's all processed, regardless. Unless maybe if you hit a place that's super fresh, everything is fresh. But honestly, you're not going to get very many of those places. It's going to be a handful of those places, which I wish there was like a ton of those places. It's amazing. Today is 4/4/22. I love it. I love these dates. Love these numbers. I connect so well. It's amazing. The other day I had synchronicity. And when you're connected and you're good things are always happening to you, you'll start to see other good things connecting to that, connecting to that, connecting to that. And that's called synchronicity. And when I did my podcast with Noah, because normally I don't ever see any bird. Well, I just now saw a bird. That's hilarious. But normally I don't see any birds. It's pretty rare because of where I live. And then all of a sudden, when I was talking to him, I saw a bird. So I thought that was really neat because Noah, he's very special. He's very in tune with the other side. I've done sessions on him, and it's just been incredible. I love that. I love it. I love being on here. I love talking about synchronicity. I would love to hear people's views. I would love for you to talk to me, ask me some questions. I'm always open for those. I feel very connected to the other side. It doesn't take much, although I can feel very closed off too. And I know that that's my own self, my own ego, my own willingness to participate or not. And that's just meaning being here or not. Because, I'm very much human. So I got those emotions as well. I get stuck and I have struggles. But luckily, it doesn't take much to pop me back to the beautifulness of life, the gracefulness of life. Yeah, it's amazing. Anyway, okay, well, thanks for listening today. I don't think it'll be a very long one. Today, I'll be back again this week. It'll just be fun to do them every day. So hopefully you'll be able to pop on and come on live with me and talk to me. And yeah, it's pretty cool. So again, you can go to my website, Jennifer Martinez, QHHT.com, or Dolores's, and find a practitioner in your area. So DoloresCannon.com. It's incredible if you have the option to have a session. You really will find out who you really are having a session. But when you pick your practitioner, it's really, really important that because this is a form of therapy, that you feel comfortable with that person, that you're able to talk to that person and tell them anything. Tell them whatever. You have to definitely be open to it, and you have to, but you've got to want to, no one can say, hey, you got to do this. No, it's literally up to you. It's literally your own deal. So, thanks again, like I said, for coming on my podcast. I would love to have it longer. I just have so many things to do today too as well. So I'm just going to start my day, but lots of love and, thanks for downloading my podcast. Thanks for listening to me. And just know that if you didn't want to listen to any of this, you're still worthy. You're still worthy of being alive. You're still worthy of change. You're still worthy of goodness. So that's my message. So lots of love and have a great day. And smiles are contagious. So if you smile to someone else is going to smile and you're going to give them a good day. And that feels good. So if you have nothing, you have that at least. Hold the door for someone, help someone cross the road, let someone get in. If you're going to cut them off, let them get in today. Whatever is any way to have a good day. That's what you're leaning towards.